Debunk Harry, Meghan, and the fake high-speed chase through New York City. I call BS. Hello, with a very warm welcome back to our LVT News channel. My goodness, folks. It's like deja vu. Here we go again. Supposedly, the need for security is what caused Meghan and Harry to lie and claim they were being chased at high speeds through the gridlock that exists in New York City. They were claiming they narrowly avoided dangerous crashes a few times. And the non-existent paparazzi and some pay for actors to look like photographers led them to feel absolutely terrified that they were going to lose their lives. They claimed they felt just like the late Diana did, the night that she had tried to. Judging by the looks on their faces, they were terrified. But maybe Harry was just terrified because he's being held captive. Meghan looked pretty happy, actually. And Doria looked like she was falling asleep. I guess that's how frightening this car chase really was. Would they not, though, have been wearing seat belts if their lives really were in danger? Did they learn nothing from what happened with Harry's mother? And there's another photo of the horrifying incident, as it was occurring. I also couldn't help but notice that the bodyguard wearing the gold tie has been spending a lot of one-on-one time with Meghan lately. Just an interesting little bit of information. I'm sure Harry is living his best life ever, though. Clearly, he's really thriving. Just look at him beside the woman who's supposed to be the love of his life. Yeah, thriving, sure. We all know right now that Harry is appealing his right to have security in the UK through the courts. They're making a real point that Harry was born into a life of danger. Let's ignore the fact, I guess, that Harry brings all of this on himself with his boasting. Now, when he went to the UK in the summer of 2021, he actually did something similar. He claimed that he was being chased by paparazzi, but there was no evidence of that at the time. It seems like there's none now either. Why on earth were the two of them traveling in a taxi when there were 4 SUV outriders? It doesn't make any sense. Maybe that was a lot like when Meghan wound down that window during the Jubilee. Just so that she could be noticed and photographed. Harry tried to file suit against the Home Office, and they basically just laughed in his face, and so did the judge. The judge said that it was not likely that the police could be hired and it would set a precedent for anybody who believed they're rich and famous enough to want the same. Harry is such a whiny crybaby. And as for Meghan, well, who knows what's wrong with her? It's also interesting to me that in the same day's news, a stalker was supposedly arrested outside their home in Montecito. Well, shouldn't the real celebrities be a little more worried than those two? Have we not heard this story before? Honestly, I think the con artists are just hoping that we're all as dumb as they are. And another thing is, anybody who has been to New York knows that it's impossible for a car chase to happen for 1 block even, and definitely not for 2 hours or 90 minutes or whatever. The streets are always filled with traffic day and night. And let's not forget, law enforcement and helicopters, too. And both sides supposedly kept on going for nearly 2 hours. Why? Where were they going? Were they just driving around in circles? I mean, do they make it to the next day? They would have to, because Manhattan. It's impossible to be driving in Manhattan for 2 hours on a high-speed chase. If any little bit of this story is true, then actually Meghan and Harry are just making themselves look bad because they're putting themselves and other people in danger by orchestrating these absurd chases for the only reason that they don't want people to take their picture. What exactly is the big mystery of where they were staying? Who even cares? Real celebrity stay in hotels all the time. And their photos are often taken. And guess what? They don't create some ridiculous high-speed car chase. And Meghan and Harry, if you don't want your photos taken, will just stay home. Don't give interviews to Oprah. Don't make Netflix docu-series, and please don't go out there buying any more awards. They got their 5 minutes in the news, but Meghan is grinning. And all the photos I saw, she was just loving the attention. I think Meghan and Harry were very short-sighted when they chose New York City for this stunt. They picked the wrong city. New Yorkers have no time for this kind of nonsense, and they don't deal nicely with people who try to make their city look bad either. They are incredibly proud of their city, and they're not going to forgive those two for making it look bad. Meghan and Harry make a spectacle of themselves everywhere they go. It's just like that South Park episode. I mean, it's almost like mechanically watched the episode, and now they're trying to live their lives in the same way. We want privacy. I think this is also another example of Meghan and Harry trying to compete with William and Catherine. See, the police escorted William and Catherine when they were in Boston for the Earthshot Prize. And so Meghan and Harry had to have the same. At this point, I'm almost convinced that these two jokers are just there to keep us all laughing. I don't really think that she's trying to be a comedy actress right now, but she's a lot more successful at that than she was on Suits. I can't help but laugh at them. I mean, at this point, it's just getting so absurd. So Harry went to the coronation all by himself, knowing that Meghan's appearance in London would have produced a lot of boos. And then despite everybody at the coronation, Meghan had to go on that little walk with friends in Montecito and, of course, a photographer had to come along, take some shots of the outing to try to overshadow the royal family's event. But where in the world is the invisible birthday boy? You know, I am loving backward right now. So if you read the statement they released, actually, the Paps had been given the information that they were going for dinner. And one of the SUVs belonging to security then tried to block the road and was driving so crazy the police had to stop them. The photos they did get show that Meghan Markle has a big smile on her face. She didn't look scared or stressed at all. And we already know that Meghan and Harry love to use that grit for their paps. I do wonder if somebody sets up these situations but forgets to inform Harry what's going on. Not a single person, including the security guy, is wearing a seat belt, but supposedly they are being chased at 80 miles an hour. I mean, come on, New Yorkers are never going to fall for this nonsense. So what do they just deliberately not wear their seat belt so that they could claim that the same thing that happened to Diana was happening to them? It's disgusting, and it's really pretty scary and disturbing, actually. They are so desperate to use Diana in their lives. Any chance they get to lie about a paparazzi chase when that is how his mother passed away. Harry is really sick, he's paranoid, there's something seriously wrong with him. And it seems like Meghan is just reenacting these insane things about his mother to push him over the edge. Or maybe Harry is doing an act, too, so that he can use this mess for leverage in the UK. Over the security fight, the wacko psychics, the booze, the drugs, the unqualified people surrounding him and also his scary, insane wife is enough to make anybody lose their mind. After all the interviews today, the consensus in New York is that their own higher security was the one who was driving like a maniac, and that was what caused all the look on Meghan's face tells us that she's not worried about what this reckless driving and the camera flashing fiasco she set up could be doing to Harry's already fragile mental state. It looks to me like Harry is done, and it seems like Meghan's trying to finish him off and no seat belts. What were they thinking? You know what? I think the mayor should file charges against the three of them and fine them for disrupting the peace. I have seen people online compare Meghan to Jussie Smollett. And boy, is that comparison accurate? I guess she got the idea to hire those actors from him. It's weird, too, that all of a sudden, Meghan looked almost as dark as her mother. I would assume that she would have gone. Why, like Harry's mother, and it doesn't look like anybody was bounced around either. What is it going to take to make her go away and leave everybody alone? Should we try to give her some kind of fake Oscar? Will that be? I mean, this whole show is just getting more and more insane and more disturbing, especially this whole edifice complex is woven through it. Meghan and